Welcome to Yes Also. I'm Suzi Barrett, and my guest today is the always hilarious Caroline Cotter. Caroline is a UCB-LA teacher and performer. She plays on ASSSSCAT, among many other shows. But she got her start at UCB New York, and we talk quite a bit in here about her early improv days, particularly her struggles with stage fright, which blew me away because she is such a fearless performer. But I think a lot of you will find that relatable and hopefully will find this inspiring and helpful. This is, as always, just one half of this episode. For the second half, you'll become a subscriber at yessalso.supercast.com, where you'll unlock all kinds of benefits, including all of the part twos of every episode, Q&A episodes, bonus content, and the ability to ask our guests questions directly. If you want to hear more from Caroline, go check out her podcast, Stinkers, where she interviews guests about their former bad ideas and bad pieces of writing. And check out her pics on our Instagram at YesAlsoPod. Okay, and now, here's the episode. Oh my goodness. Are you excited to talk about improv?
I'm excited. I'm scared and I'm excited.
What's scary about it?
Everything. I'm scared of everything.
In life?
Yes.
Are you?
Actually,
really?
I am, yeah. And actually, I am really afraid with a lot of improv stuff, too.
Really? That is wild to hear. Because,
really?
Yeah, you have such a fearless edge to your play.
Wow, that's wild.
And even like doing bits, like you're like such a, you just don't seem like someone who has like any fear or hangups.
No, I'm the opposite. I have so much fear and I'm so insecure.
Okay, so this is masking insecurity.
100%.
Wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Were you an extrovert or an introvert as a kid?
I was so introverted that they almost held me back from kindergarten or first grade, which I don't even think is like legal to do because I just like wouldn't speak.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sign of high intelligence.
I didn't want to say it. But
Clearly.
you said it, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm actually really dumb. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for being here,
Yeah.
and that's the episode.
Okay,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having
I'll
me.
see
It's
you
been
in
so
a-
great.
in a
Yeah,
month or
thanks
so, yeah.
everybody.
I'm just fascinated by that, like that someone can present some way and then their internal life is just the opposite.
Yeah.
And I think people will be like relieved or encouraged to hear about your fear because it's like, oh, great, okay. Stars are just like us. But
Thank you for saying, I'm famous.
There's a misconception that in improv that like once you've been doing it a certain amount of time or whatever, that you're not scared anymore or things don't give you nerves or whatever. And that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, I don't think it's true. At least that hasn't been my experience. I've actually gotten, what's wild is that only recently I feel like I've gotten a little better at that, like in terms of like nerves and stuff. But I used to have such crazy stage fright and still sometimes I do. It kind of depends. Now it's more like random where it'll like happen. But for the most part, it's pretty okay. But it pops up.
I'm fascinated by your pursuing this despite being someone with crippling stage fright. How did that happen?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Well, I was born in Summit, New Jersey at Overlook Hospital.
Further back. Let's go. Let's do
my mom met
grandparents.
my dad. Oh, my grandparents. Yeah. Well, my grandparents met doing improv, of course.
Oh, of course. In the Borscht Belt.
Exactly. Yeah. No, actually, I think that's part of it where like no one in my family has, they're creative, but very traditional in terms of like jobs and stuff. Except for my grandma, actually, she was an opera singer.
Cool.
Very cool. She like trained with Angela Lansbury, name drop. Okay. But she was like very, very good. And then met my grandpa and like quit everything. But yeah, I think because I came from a family that was so like traditional, we do stuff and very like not, it just wasn't even a possibility for a career. So I think for that, I always had in my mind where I'm like, well, I shouldn't even be doing this. So then it you know what I mean? It almost like fed the nerves, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. There was like a feeling of this is wrong or incorrect, or I should be ashamed.
Yeah, a lot of shame. Is this good? This is like a psychological podcast, right? This is the point.
Oh, we get right in there.
Yeah, but then I never put two and two together where like in school I would feel less afraid if I had to like do a presentation or something if I like made people laugh. But I don't even think it was like consciously doing that, because then people would be like, oh, you were so funny, or this thing you said was so funny, and I'd be like offended. So I'd be like, I'm trying to be, you know what I mean? It's like if I'm gonna act, I'm gonna be like a dramatic, serious actor. Like, don't call me funny. And then yeah, I don't know. And then
but being funny was your way. Like that was you were doing it and breaking tension and having fun in those moments.
Yes.
And naturally funny person, you can't help then but to sprinkle it into presentations and whatever. Yeah.
I guess so, but I wasn't even like aware, you know what does that make sense? Like I wasn't really aware I was like doing that until there would be like a laugh or something, and then I'd like kind of feel that relief of being like, okay, I'm like less scared to be here. Like even in class, and I still am this way in like classes or stuff, because I like to just take classes and learn stuff, where if I have to like speak at all in class or like raise my hand and ask a question, I get like so nervous and anxious. But yeah, and that was my first time I saw improv, was still that like nervous feeling. It was my college improv team I saw when I was a freshman. I was like so nervous because it's like, you know, you see people on stage, you're like, I hope they're funny. I hope they do good.
Yeah, the empathy nerves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when they get that laugh, it was like such an exhilarating feeling. So I think for me that then kind of turned this nerves into more like an exhilaration, where I'm like, oh, if you can kind of move past this, you achieve this feeling that is even better than the nerves, like makes the nerves worth it.
This is the pre-rumblings of something that's going to be awesome feeling.
Yeah.
It's just we have to get through the first drop of the roller coaster.
Exactly.
So you saw your college improv group. Did you later join it?
Yeah, I started.
And where was college?
Fordham University in the Bronx.
Wow.
Honey. Yeah.
Okay.
I went there, and I remember they did a like a fair, like a club fair. And I was walking around, and there was a sketch comedy team, and I was like, I didn't even know you could do that. Like, what? That's crazy. So I auditioned for that, and I got on. And then there was also the improv team, but they were like, in my mind, at least so much cooler. It was all part of like this like experimental theater company at college. And there was like the part that would do the plays, the part that would do the sketch and improv. And I just thought the improv people were so cool and so scary to me also, where I was like, I could never do that. And then the leader of the troupe was also like so cool, because he had like taken up through 401 at UCB, and he like famously got a call back like for Herald teams, and we were all like, he knows
famously.
What he's famous. It was truly famous. We're like, did you know that he got like a call back? Like he almost got in a Herald team.
There's like a statue of him on campus with a bronze plaque that talks about his callback.
Exactly. But so then I think he actually was like, oh, you should try out for the improv team. And I was like, I couldn't possibly try out for the improv team. But then I did. My friend Lauren and I worked up the courage to try out together. And then we both made it on the team. And I don't know, were you on a college improv troupe?
My senior year, a friend started one.
Okay.
And we would like rehearse in my living room and like try to teach ourselves short form games and stuff that we had seen on Whose Line. And,
incredible. Yeah. Also, Whose Line It Is Anyway, so funny.
It's great.
I was obsessed with it as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll like watch old ones sometimes. I'm like, this is so funny.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It still slaps, as the kids
It
say.
Absolutely does. And Drew Carey's bit about the points. I'm sorry. Hello.
Arbitrary points. Although I'm a Whose Line OG. I'm a Clive Anderson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that is OG. I got to go back. Watch that.
Got to go to the archives.
And that, thank you. I always pronounce that word wrong. So it's nice to hear it pronounced correctly.
Yeah.
Wow.
And archives is also acceptable.
Okay.
You were on your way to saying something and you paused to ask me if I was in my college improv group.
Oh, thank you. So, we took it so seriously. Did you have that? Like where it was so serious?
It didn't exist long enough for that to happen. We were like figuring things out, and I think we maybe had 2 shows like before I left, but it like wasn't an entity yet.
It was like fun before it was like, we got to be good.
Yeah. Yours was so serious.
It was so serious.
Well, you were in the presence of someone who got a call back.
Almost got on a Herald team.
Yeah.
It was so, I just have this vivid memory of like we would do also these like 2-minute scenes, and that would be like a punishment if it's like, okay, we're doing 2-minute scenes today, and it'd be like, fuck, because it's like no matter
meaning like, that was too long to sustain a scene.
Oh yeah, and the way we did not sustain, not, you know what I mean? It was just like so like, okay, we're gonna do this 2-minute scene, and then I also remember us standing around in a circle as a warm up, and it basically was. I think what was trying to be done was like a pattern game, but with kind of a not like a full understanding of what a pattern game is. So it would be really, the main focus was on like getting the correct A to C. You know what I mean?
Being right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd hear like the someone would say whatever, you know how A to C works. Flower. So I would like, and if I was next, it would be, if you took less than a minute, you weren't really doing it the right way. You know what I mean? So you'd really be like, okay, flower makes me think of like gardening. My mom gardening. Okay, my mom gardening. Like she might have arthritis when she's older. So then age, like death. So you'd be like casket. You know what I mean?
Like
if someone had a good one, you'd be like
X.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, you said whoever was next. Did you prescribe? Like you went around in a circle?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, it's just so painful.
It really was. But then at the same time, we would do these shows that you just felt so cool. You know what I mean? You just felt like this, I don't want to say rock star, but you know, the vibes. It was like in this like black box theater, and like, you know, everybody watching it would just be like drunk, and we'd be like, oh, we're gonna do like an improv show.
Yeah.
It was fun. And
it's fun.
It was so fun. And at the same time I was taking, I started taking classes at UCB. I don't know, maybe my freshman or sophomore year of college. So, and then that I was like, okay, that's actually the one that's not fun. And my college one now has become the fun one. You know what I mean? Because then in my nerves were times like a million in my classes.
Because it was a new environment and you didn't have the familiarity, and you were a little fish in a big pond again, or what?
I think so. And that's how I think I always feel that way anyway, like a little fish in a big pond, like anywhere I go. But that in particular was, I think, like being so young. I was 19, I think, when I started taking classes. And so in my mind, I was like, oh, these are all adults. And so then trying to like be an adult around like adults was very, and I really wanted to be good or funny, but I wasn't. And I also thought that like, because I feel like the best improvisers, or the people that I like the best, are the people who can just be themselves and bring their life experience to the scenes and their real reactions and stuff, even if they're not playing themselves.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't have enough life experience, so I have to kind of make it up.
It's like when I end up in office scenes, and I've never had an office job. So I'm just like doing my best to do my impression of what I've seen on TV.
Yeah, but that's better, because it's like you're at least doing, you know what I mean? Like it to the top of your intelligence or whatever, where I'd be like, I have to be a funny office worker, which is like,
yeah, you're trying to be funny on top of something that had no bedrock of human specifics and lived experience. Yeah.
And you have those notes that just like, or those things teachers say that just like stick with you forever.
Oh yeah.
Where in my 201 taught by Ben Rogers, I remember I was like in a scene, we were like in a hot tub, and the first person just, did this initiation, like, like, oh, thanks for joining me in my hot tub. I hope you like it. And I was like, well, this is crazy because I'm in second grade. And he was like, okay, stop. He's like, and I got a thumbs up from Ryan over there. So I know it's good.
Yeah.
He was like, just be like, in a hot, like being the person, I was just like, oh my, you know what I mean?
And Caroline, stop making all of your scene partners immediate pedophiles. That's the 10th time in class where someone's done a normal initiation and
I've been
made them a sicko.
Whoa, you're not even supposed to be 200 feet near a school, pal.
Right.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was crazy. I think also getting any sort of feedback or like a note was so hard for me. Not because I thought I was good, but just like any sort of like now it's a whole thing where, you know, on TikTok, I guess also in real places, you like learn like that's like rejection sensitivity or something. It's some like ADHD thing. But I'm like, oh, or like anytime you get any feedback or a note, I would like take it so personally, and my face would get like so red. And it was just like, oh my God.
The feeling of a face getting red is one of my least favorite feelings on the planet. It so often happens where you're like, God damn it, body. It's like, I wasn't that embarrassed, but now I am. Now you're making it look like I hate, you know, that I took that way more personally. It's such a sellout of your own body.
And then especially if someone's like, hey, your face is getting red. And you're like, I know.
Yeah, I fucking know. And you have a small dick. I can see the shape of it through your sweatpants.
Through your clear sweatpants.
Through your clear.
As your tiny little dick. And it's hard.
And I'm 7. Yeah. And you kidnapped me. So
I'm not going to suck your dick.
Your move.
And then my teacher would give me a note on that scene for some reason.
It's called rejection sensitivity. It must be ADHD.
Exactly. But yeah, that still happens sometimes too. But now at least I can like almost, I know this is bad, but in this way, I think it's good where I can disassociate from my body. You know what I mean? Because before you'd like feel it. And like you said, when you're aware of it, it gets worse. So that was awesome. And also I was like, I can't stress enough. I'm like hard on myself, but I was so bad. I was so obviously from, you know, the choices I made in scenes, which I've kind of shared a little bit with you, but I was just so bad. I was so nervous. When I would be in a scene, I would just be like, all nerves.
Making panic moves.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I still, for some reason, I don't know why, because there was no sort of external validation or like glimmer of like funny I had or whatever, that in the handouts they give you, or they used to give you, now it's all digital. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Another problem I have.
Yeah, I wish it was still handouts and they just handed you an iPad. They hand everyone an iPad and you get to keep it.
Yeah, that's why classes are so expensive.
Yeah.
Hello. But they, on the thing, it's like, if you complete through 401, you could try out for Herald Night or whatever. And I think before I had even seen Herald Night, I was like, I'm going to be on a Herald team, which there was no, again, I can't stress enough, no indication that was my future. People would make like practice groups with people from their classes, and you know, I was never invited to those. Like, we don't want that girl. So yeah, but I have no idea where that came from.
Just it was like a psychic moment. It was like a premonition almost.
Yeah, and it was just
I'm going to be on that.
Yeah, and I'm not like that as a person, where I'm not like a manifester where I'm like, I have $1 million and blah blah blah. I just was like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. I don't know why, but it worked, honey.
Honey,
it worked.
Honey,
okay,
it worked.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. What did you get on your first audition? Or
no, I didn't. I got on my second, so maybe like not on my first. But so I went to school, went to UCB in New York. I had because I was doing it while I was in college. I wasn't really like in the scene there. I'd go to some shows, but I didn't, and I had some friends kind of from classes and knew people through that, but wasn't really plugged in. So I remember after a 401 I took, someone from my class was like, oh, are you going to try out for Herald teams? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, I was
what
so
are
just
the
like
words that you're saying.
I was like, I didn't even know we could do that. And he's like, they're happening now. And I was like, no. So when I actually tried out, I don't know if I'd taken like an advanced class or something. That was when they were creating Lloyd teams at UCB. So they started in New York, like, you know, the junior Herald teams. Or even though they're very opposed to calling them that, They're like, these are not junior Herald teams, even though people will get moved up to Herald night after being on Lloyd night.
Yeah.
But like, that's what, it's crazy.
Yeah. This is not, there is no hierarchy. This is just what you do first and worst.
And then if you're better,
then you move up and get promoted.
Exactly.
But they're the exact
they're the same. Do not count one as better than the other. But so the first time I auditioned was when they were creating those. So I don't remember how many they had, maybe 6. So if you can do the math of 8 times 6, which I didn't go to college for math.
48?
Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, it could be. It could be 48.
Scientists may never know.
Random number. They made, okay, so I remember I had, my first round audition was like still some of the best improv I've ever done. You know what I mean? It was just so like lucky and so good. So good. So I got a call back, and you do the full Herald and callbacks. It was awful. You know what I mean? It was awful. But I was like, okay, I think there were like 60, my numbers are going to be wrong, but it was like 60 people were called back and 48 people were going to be on teams. So I was like, I've got, you know what I mean? I was like, at least like, this is the only time I'll ever get on a team because they're making...
Because only 12 people are not getting on teams. Okay, yeah. Cut 2.
And then I remember I was working at a restaurant at the time. I think it was my first year out of college. I was working at this restaurant, like a very like, what's it called? Like a fine dining restaurant. And so I had my phone away. You couldn't have your phones, which I guess is good for any job to not be on your phone. Yeah. And then unless
you're a phone sales rep or a suicide
my
hotline operator.
Exactly. The two
Those are the
jobs.
Two. Yeah.
Exactly. So I turned my phone on because I knew that was the day that everybody was going to get a notification. And the first text I saw was from a friend being like, I'm so sorry. Like, da-da-da. And I was like, oh my. And I just remember like leaving, just like crying on the streets of New York, you know, just like devastated. Being like, I'm never going to make a team.
Never
gonna make it
based on this one first try at it. I'm never gonna do it.
Yeah, it was wild though, because it was like everyone, you know, it would really felt like everybody made a team. Obviously that's not what the situation was, and everybody that made it was great and had great auditions presumably, but yeah, it was really that was pretty hard. So I took a couple more classes, and then there was like an invite only callback, or, you know, when they just go straight. I don't know if they still do that.
Nah, I don't know.
But I then made a Lloyd team from that. And then again, all this feels like it's on a fluke, because I will say that the improv I was doing consistently was very bad. And so then, but I had like these couple lucky things where I would, I don't know, something would be good about it. And so I was on this Lloyd team.
Let's pause for a second. Paint a picture of bad improv for me. What are we talking about? You're not listening to your scene partner? What?
I think it was that, I think, again, the nerves were a big problem. So it's like I would be so nervous that like my brain couldn't, that would be my main thought of just like, oh, fuck. And then try to like push through that to like listen or react to someone. And that was just very hard to do. So it was like I was mainly consumed by that. So I would say it was a lot of me not really getting out there, or like forcing myself to go out there, and then just being like, I'm on a stage with another person, and you know, and so
and literally those were the thoughts like going through your head.
Yes.
Wow. So it wasn't just like you feel a little bit scared or have butterflies. It's that what your brain power is actually concentrating on is, I'm on a stage, people are looking at me.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Which I thought was normal. I was like, oh, everybody has this, and they're just better at like moving past it. And then like as I got older, I'm like, oh, I think that maybe could be a touch of anxiety, or, you know, something.
It's pretty high level stage fright, which is not unusual for humans to have. Yeah. It's
like medical stage fright.
Right. Yeah. And again, fascinating that despite that, you pushed through and were like, no, I want to do this as my hobby and potentially my entire life.
I think also one thing that did help, I think, from the way I was raised, which has been bad in other ways, but helpful in this way, was it's like, oh, things should be uncomfortable. Like, it should be hard. It should be uncomfortable. That's like, you shouldn't stop doing something if it's really hard. So I think I was taught resilience, which was great.
Yep. And what was it doing for you in the positive column? Like, what were you digging about it?
I think if I would have those few and far between times when I would be a part of a successful scene, or even watch people do a successful scene, I think that feeling would like outweigh the negative things.
The euphoria of what was possible with this craft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember, maybe it was around this time, but it's something I think about and something I tell my students about because it helped me so much, is I think Will Hines said this thing where he was like, he was, maybe, I don't know the context of it, but he was like, a great thing to do is like think about your improv in terms of like a sports highlight reel. And I go, sports, of course, something I can connect to finally. But it was like, only remember the good moves or good scenes you were in, and just replay those in your mind. And so like really takes the focus away from like the things you did wrong or whatever. And so you're like, okay, I did it right once, so then maybe that can happen again.
It's great advice.
Yeah.
And a great metaphor, because it works the other way too. Like if you imagine the entirety of a soccer game, if you imagined not watching a highlight reel, but only watching a player, like when they go the wrong way or they like miss a kick or you're not doing that. You're not thinking about these athletes in those terms.
Exactly.
That's so good.
Yeah. So
cool.
That was helpful. And then, so, and again, like, look, I think also, I'm sure I was just so hard on myself too, but also I do think I am realistic, and I'm like, I was pretty bad, but I was on this Lloyd team, and I think it was our second show or something. And the artistic director, Nate Dern, at the time happened to be at that show. And again, it was a thing where like, I kind of in my mind, like a fluke, had made a couple funny moves or was in some successful scenes, and then like a couple days later he's like, oh, we'll move you up to Herald Night. I was like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
We are moving you up. It's a lateral move.
Exactly. This is not different at all.
It's literally the exact same thing. There will be no changes except that you are now up.
And you're performing at the better theater, but the other theater is not bad.
No, we're going to promote you more. We charge slightly more for your tickets. We require students to see your shows. It's the exact same thing.
It's a sold out house in a better location. Just more people come. People are generally funnier that are on those teams, but it's exactly the same as Lloyd Night.
It's just the quality and how we treat it is different. Otherwise, same.
So I made that lateral move. And I was placed on this Herald team where I was the only woman, and which was like much more, or I don't know if that exists now, really.
It's not common.
Yeah. It was like mostly white people, mostly men, and then a couple, usually white women, and then like a few people of color was like the vibe. And so I was on this Herald team that was 7 guys who I think were all like at least 6 years older than me, and just nuts. But I think that actually helped. That really informed my play because I was like, oh, in order to be in this at all, I have to be really aggressive or just like really nuts to like even get out for any of this.
I mean, for years until 2019. So for 12 years of Sentimental Lady, it was all those dudes and me.
Oh my God.
And that's an aggressive group of players. Like they're real fast brains and speakers, and it was real.
How did you deal with it? What did you do?
It was like you have to play aggressively or not be in the show. And I got really good at finding tags as well, like finding ways to support and to like get in there. That it was a real brainy brain exercise. But,
that's great.
And it sounds like I'm talking shit. I don't mean to be like mean or rude. It's not like, and they weren't always talking over me the whole time. It's just,
It's just different. Because again, I think a lot of it is also, at least for my experience, and probably the same with you, it's like they're not consciously being like, don't be in the thing, don't be in the scene. It's just weird. And then I also would feel this thing that I don't really feel anymore, but I think also really helped me is you certainly much worse like back when I was younger in New York, but I would have this feeling of being like the audience sees me, especially as the only woman on the team, and they're already like, well, she's not going to be funny. Like it was kind of like waiting, like, and feeling that pressure.
I felt that. It's like you got to prove that you're a funny woman.
Exactly. Because you're already starting at like a lower, like a little bit of a deficit. And so I think I felt that so much, as however real or not real it was. And then it would really like inhibit my improv because I would just, again, like get even more in my head than I already was. But then once I became able to kind of like just not care about that, I think that also really helped. Where I'm just like, well, almost like helped me too much where now I'm like, sometimes I'll make actively bad moves and I just can't stop it. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, this is going to be bad and like kill the scene, but I'm like, I have, you know what I mean?
What do you mean? Is it like you think of something that tickles you, like a jokey move or something, and you can't help yourself because you think it's funny? Or
no, I wish it was like that. Sometimes it's even more like, I really shouldn't do this. And it's like almost the thing where
I'm walk on and make everyone a pedophile. I shouldn't,
exactly,
but I can't help it.
I think that's like my deep-seated like pedophilia, where I'm like, or not. You know what I mean?
It.
Just like this deep-seated like, almost like antagonistic thing where I'm like, I like have to get it out. You know what I mean?
Like it's like improv Tourette's.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it feels like,
right?
Sometimes.
Like it's like a reflexive. You just have to say shit in the middle of church just to get it out of your system.
Yes.
What's an example of one of these moves, though? I'm trying to wrap my head around what you're talking about.
I don't know. I can think of this isn't exactly what it is because again, I think I've gotten really good at forgetting the bad things I've done and like remembering just the good things. So that's bad for me now to like learn my lesson. But I was doing ASSSSCAT a couple months ago, and there was this like tag run of this very clearly established pattern. It was very funny, and like the way people were tagging in like made sense, and it was clear heightening. And I was like, I have this idea. I was like, it's not on pattern. It's not like on game. It's not a good heightening of this thing. I was like,
it doesn't take place in this theater. Exactly. I have to lead everyone down the street and I'm going to dunk a basketball.
Exactly. And I was like, I was like, don't do it. You know what I mean? I was like, Caroline, just let someone edit the scene. Like, don't do it. And I was just like, walking on, like tagging out, made the move. Someone was like, ha ha ha. And then it like just killed the scene. But I'm like, I can't, I have to do it.
I have to do it.
But that only pops through like 10% of actually 5% of the time, I would say. Usually I'm pretty good at like being like, okay, think of something else, you know?
That's fascinating. That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
It's not good. It's not good.
It's beautiful because it's how your brain works, and
it's sick.
You let yourself be and you move on and you move through it.
I think also like once in a while, those moves will actually be successful. And so then that is what is bad. It keeps the cycle going, you know?
It tells your id that it gives the kid candy after bedtime, even though it was whining, and it trains it.
Exactly. I'm like, that's going to happen again.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think that you do the best in improv? What is your highlight reel, or what's your wheelhouse?
I don't know. I don't know. I think, I have two different things that I think I'm good at. One is sometimes, not all the time, I think like just really, really supporting whatever the other person is doing, like really like aggressively saying yes to things that are not like maybe things that they didn't even know they like gifted themselves or gifted me kind of like offhand. I think I'm really good at like picking up on those small things.
When you say they don't even know that they gifted it, it's like you're grabbing like a singular word in their sentence or something that maybe was a throwaway, but you're like, oh, this could be
exactly
beautiful. Yeah.
Or just like doubling down on whatever that is. And I think that's really fun because the thing that I mean, and I guess this is like all of improv, but just like the surprising things that people just like generate together in the moment. I know that's like what improv is, but like I'm definitely not a like game player, like heady person being like, this is a perfect heightening move, whatever.
Yeah.
I like more like the spontaneity and discovery in scenes. So that's what I like. And then the other side of that, which I think is much less consistently successful, but I really like doing, is just like being really dumb and like adding like really dumb specifics to scenes. I think is fun.
Do you have an example?
See, now I'm like, I don't know, like
or like an example of the type of, what do you mean when you say dumb specifics?
Like just so for me also, like, and I've had to learn this teaching, because if you say if you call a student's scene really dumb, I've learned that it's comes across negatively. So I have to be like, I'm like, if dumb is like the biggest compliment, you know.
Let me rephrase it. Your scene was a piece of shit.
Yeah, you fucking suck.
You
okay,
fucking
how about
suck.
that?
And I mean that in such an affectionate and supportive way.
Exactly. Yeah. I can't. I don't know. Now, like thinking of specifics, like it's hard. But I think also like a lot about just like improvisers that I feel like do this really well, are like Gabrus or like Carl Tart or something. Or Nicole Byer, where it's just like kind of making these not like arbitrary choices, but just like weird, stupid, like
throwing I get what you mean now, just naming those improvisers. So it's like it's throwing a specific into a random place that where it's like not needed, but it's so funny and fun to play with, like naming something that way, or revealing like yeah, I'm like just picturing how Carl plays. It's
exactly.
Like, you know, and sir, we're selling solar panels, and you want to let me put some pants on? You know, like just like revealing that something is true about the scene that we didn't know before. That's
what. And I was doing this. I host one of the improv jams at the theater. And this was on Tuesday night. And again, this is bad. Like, I should not. The whole premise of the show is it's like UCB teachers are hosting this jam, and then students can perform. And if they want, like, do improv with their teachers. And in theory, that should be like people who are doing improv well and making good moves. And again, I would say for that, I do the opposite, and it's like very fun for me. But I do actually think that's helpful in like a different way of just being like, oh, you can be not precious and make like kind of stupid moves and
free
have it
your
still
mind
be fun
and just move through like a golden retriever and something will happen.
But so that will be like, there was a scene where two people were in like sitting in these chairs, not facing each other, going on for a while. We didn't know where it was. And then I had it, and then I walked on and like set it in a bathroom, you know what I mean? In toilet stalls. So it's like, that's kind of sometimes the vibe of that. Definitely not good, but it's what I think is like I would so much rather something, and again, maybe this is like so obvious, so if it is, you could just smack me in the face.
I'm just saving up my smacks. You're a little far away, but like at the end, I'm gonna smack you a bunch.
You can have 5 smacks and 1 punch.
Okay.
That was in my contract. I would so much rather something be like funny versus like good improv. Obviously, like a culmination of the two is great, but I'm like, if something's really making me laugh but is really dumb and like basically bad improv, like I would so much rather be in that scene or watch that show versus like really a well executed game.
Right. Or like something that's like perfect and correct. And kind of two different schools of thought in the extreme, but ideally they're zippered together we have a parfait. So when you were on Herald Night, were you having good shows? Did you feel no?
No, I would say
your whole thesis is that you're like insisting that you're bad at improv, and you are great at improv.
No, that's very nice. Thank you. But I think that is also like what made me better at it was realizing I could like do it my own way and like be myself. Because I think for so long, especially through Herald Night, I was like, I have to do it correctly.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was trying so hard to do it in like, you know, the UCB way of like perfect second beats and whatever, connections in the third beats, whatever. See, that's how much I respect it. And I think the more I did it, the more I realized I'm like, oh, people are like laughing when I do these things that I think are funny and maybe aren't exactly right, or sometimes they're right. Like, why don't I just do more of like that? And getting that freedom kind of was helpful.
Right. Follow the things that tickle me that I think are funny. Rules be damned, or not rules be damned, but like like we all want to follow good improv quote rules and like etiquette. But there's a difference between that and that sort of left brain play where you're like, there is a correct best second beat for this. And if I don't find it and play it correctly, or like there is like the moment where a walk-on is acceptable and not this, it's just, you can get caught in that net.
Yes.
Yeah.
And exactly, the balance I think is good. Like it's like you don't need to walk on the first 5 seconds of a scene.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're right. Yeah,
like, but I have such a good idea. This would be so funny. And it's not, Caroline.
And it never was, and it never will be.
It never was actually. This is when I'm going to announce I'm quitting improv today. So thank you. Yeah. But weirdly, that first Herald team I was on was very helpful because I think for the thing of like forcing myself to like go out and like maybe play bigger or more aggressively, but also they were also obsessed with like, and I was too, but like of making like a really experimental Herald and very like playing with the form of it. And everybody was really weird. We would just like be very weird. Sometimes it would really work. And then also in New York, you could choose your opening for the Herald, but if you were doing badly, you would be punished and then have to use the Herald game, pattern game.
Oh, gotcha.
So we were punished and we had to do the Herald game.
Did they frame it that way? They called it a punishment?
No, but it was the same thing with like the Lloyd is not better than Herald.
Right.
They'd be like, this isn't a punishment, but like all the feedback you're getting is that your shows are not good. They're disorganized. You know, you're not listening. You're not doing whatever. Therefore, like you can't be trusted to do your own opening. So you have to do a pattern game.
And you have to write on the chalkboard 100 times, I will not do sloppy shows.
Yeah,
it's not a punishment.
Exactly.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
It's the opportunity to do the pattern game opening.
Exactly.
For part 2 of this episode, go to yesalso.supercast.com. If you like this podcast and you want double the content, head over to yesalso.supercast.com and subscribe. You can also help us out for free by subscribing to us on YouTube and talking us up to your improv communities. If you have a question that you'd like us to answer in one of our Q&A episodes, or a topic that you think would make a great bonus episode, put it in a 5-star review. If you're a theater who would like to host us for a live recording and improv show, let us know at yesalsopod@gmail.com. A very special thanks to our producer, Ryan Rosenberg, audio and video editor, Brian Kessler, and Britt Faye, who does our marketing. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. No, we won't, Suzi. That's not how podcasts work. They won't even see us. They will listen to us, so it's actually the opposite of both things you said. Thanks for listening, and you will listen to us next week. Maybe. We don't know.